I believe I'm going to close my eyes when I die and, wake up and be like, oh, thank God, thank God I'm back. And then I'm going to be like, why'd you keep me there so long? Why'd you leave me there so long? Like, I don't feel like here is our true home. I feel like we have another home that we are going to go back to. And once we get there, we're going to remember all of that. So it won't feel scary. It'll just feel peaceful and beautiful and lovely. And I don't believe you have to believe in a certain thing to get there. I don't even think you have to believe in what I'm saying to get there. Like I said, it's not a place to get into or a belief to follow. I think it is just what it is. And I know I could be wrong. So please know that in me saying all of this, I know I could be wrong. I know it's just my belief. That is just my belief system. Hence why I would never preach it onto anybody else. And I know I could be wrong. And if I'm wrong, that's okay too. It doesn't feel like I'm wrong, but that doesn't mean I'm not. I've always had this need and want for answers about where we come from, why are we here, where do we go when we die. I've always been like that. I've always been a seeker, and I've always been interested in the meaning of life and where we go after we die. And after becoming a hospice nurse, and a lot of the experiences I've had, whether they were really crazy, which I can get into stories like that, or just subtle things like watching someone take their last breath and just getting this feeling of love and joy and peace, kind of like I felt, like I said, when I would see babies being born, or even when I would be meditating or praying, it'd be the same feeling. So it just started solidifying more and more my beliefs that we all go to this place that is good. Some of my extreme things are my experience that I've just now learned is called a shared death experience. I've shared this before, but I had a patient who I was really close with who was dying on hospice, and I went to go see him right before he died. I can tell he would die that day, and I said my goodbyes to him in my head and made peace with his death. I was happy for him. I knew we did a good job, and I knew that he was having a peaceful death. And when I went in my car, I said my final goodbye in my car before I, turned it on to go to my next patient, and all of a sudden I could hear his voice, and I could feel these feelings, the feelings that I frequently feel that kind of feel like what I would think the afterlife would feel like, like home, like comfort, like joy and exuberance. And I instantly smiled telling this story because I can feel what he was showing me that day. And I heard his voice in my head, and he was saying, oh my gosh, Julie, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. And the sentiment was, if I only would have known how good this was, I wouldn't have been so afraid, because he was afraid and he was curious and he wasn't sure what was going to happen after he died. And then it's in my car, he gave me this experience of I'm okay. This is amazing. If I only would have known how good this is, I wouldn't have been so afraid. And those feelings he was giving me that brought me to tears, I was weeping in my car, are the same feelings that I get when I watch someone, subtly take their last breath, or I watch a baby being born. It's an overwhelming feeling of joy and peace and grace and love. And that is what I think we go to. That is what I think the afterlife is. Does that mean we're in human form? I don't know any of that. I have no idea, but I feel it doesn't feel bad or scary. It feels, again, more like home than we could ever feel here.